Railroad into the state in some of the finest hotels in the country. This was his first hotel in Florida here on the left-hand side. We're going to come back down here in just a little bit. Now, High Pollard Street's a pretty short street, and we're going to make our stop at the end of it here. We're going to drive on High Pollard when it opens up, probably the day after tomorrow. This is Hippolyta and Cordova Streets.
We're just like doing this, doing that to each other.
You get a preview of it, you can see how it's going to look. Oh, it does look already. It's done, basically. Here off to the right. Isn't that nice? Well, right where Flagler wanted to build his hotel, the Methodist had a modest little wooden church, and he made him an offer. He told him that if he could have their location, he'd have his design team of Carrera and Hastings build him a brand new church. Construction began in 1886, and it was one of the first poured concrete structures built in the United States. The Methodist got a new church with a parsonage, and Flagler got the location that he wanted to build his hotel. Now, I'm talking a little loud because I've got a cell phone conversation going on in my ear, and it really is distracting. It's hard to talk over it. So I'm trying to talk over the top of it. The next church on the right will be the Ancient City Baptist Church. Built in 1895, Flagler donated the land and funded the construction of the building. One of the conditions of that gift is that they never put a bell in the church tower. I think Flagler didn't want to listen to the neighbors. His Presbyterian church down here to the left has 2 bells in it. They don't want in competition with the neighbors. Now, Flagler had a daughter. Her name was Jenny Louise, and when she became pregnant, he was expecting his first grandchild. The baby died, and it was miscarried, and then his daughter Jenny died from complications of the pregnancy. Flagler commissioned the Memorial Presbyterian Church to be built in his daughter's memory, and 1,000 men built it in less than a year. It was dedicated in 1890 on the 1-year anniversary of the death of his daughter. There's that close-up photo op, huh? The old bird over here. Well, Flagler died in 1913. We got him back here. He's buried in this church today with his first wife, daughter, and grandchild. Now, it's usually open during the week, but it's been closed a few days. But when it is open, there's Carrera marble from Italy, mahogany from the Dominican Republic, and a 5,000 pipe organ. Now, it's closed inside, but you can still walk around if you like. This is stuff for the Flagler Memorial. Presbyterian Church. Got 92 stained glass windows in the place. Those windows weren't completed for another 12 years after the building was dedicated. Coming up on the right will be Flagler College. Today it's a 4-year liberal arts school. In 1888 it was the Ponce de Leon Hotel. This was Flagler's first hotel in Florida. It was the first hotel in the state, but with electricity. Thomas Edison designed and installed the power plant. You'll see it on the right here. Guests were walking around with candles, still afraid to touch the switches. So Flagler assigned servants to turn the lights on and off for the guests as they walked by. It was open 3 months out of the year, January, February, March, and the price of a room ranged from $5 a night up to $100 for some of the suites. Now, if you were just going to stay maybe a weekend, you still pay the whole season in advance. At the time, Flagler was paying workers on his railroad wages of $1.50 a day. So this wasn't for wage earner kind of people. It was for the super, super rich. We had 6 U.S. presidents stay here. The last one was Lyndon Johnson in 1964. The last year it operated as a hotel was 1967. In 1968, it opened as Flagler College, a 4-year liberal arts school for women only, letting the boys in 3 years later in 1971. That round part was the ballroom. It's the cafeteria today at the college. And the glass is all Louis Tiffany, stained glass windows. When Tiffany did this work, he was in his early 20s. Now this is a great tour. It's only twice a day. The students give the tours, and it makes it a lot more fun. They have an energy and a pride in their school. And the tours are at 10 o'clock and again at 2 each day. When the visitors came from New York City in 1888, they'd never seen an electrically lit building. The light bulb had just been invented a few years earlier in 1879. So Flagler made sure that his trains would arrive after dark. Well, the guests would see the place for the first time at night, lit up with over 4,000 electric lights. Now here on the right, you'll see a statue of Flagler. He was in his 50s and the second wealthiest man in the country when he retired from Standard Oil. I don't know, I wouldn't be starting no career in my 50s if I had that much money, I'll tell you that. But I don't have that much money, so I'm in my 60s and still working. What are you going to do? Here's why the Via Zorega here on the right. It was built in 1883. It was only the second building in the country made of poured concrete. The winter home of Franklin Smith, who was a Boston millionaire. Anybody got any money? I'm a little short here. We got to pay to park there.
I don't know why. It's back there.
This building made of poured concrete gave Flagler the idea to use concrete in the construction of his hotels. It's a 1/10 scale replica of a small portion of the Alhambra in Granada, Spain. The Alhambra was a Moorish castle. Moors were Muslims, ruled Spain for 600 years. And in 1922, it was a gambling hall called the Zoreda Club. Florida outlawed gambling 3 years later in 1925. So this is a museum, and now Florida is running lotto. Up in the Via Zoreda, they got this candlelight thing, Christmas display in the evening. This is a nice place to come visit in the evening. I think it starts at around 6 o'clock, I believe, the candlelight. Anyway. They got an Arabic inscription over the door of the place. I didn't even know it said anything because I don't read Arabic. And it says there's no conqueror but God, and it's a phrase that's repeated throughout the Alhambra in Spain. Now every room at the Ponce over here on the left was decorated in a different theme. The idea was, and he came back the next year, you had a different looking room that you feel like you're in a different vacation, I guess. All the rooms had fireplaces. See the chimney flue still sticking out. A year after the Ponce opened, Flagler opened his second hotel in Florida. Right across the street on the right, the Alcazar, or Royal Castle. It's modeled after the palace in Seville, Spain, and today it's the O.C. Leitner Museum. Otto Leitner was a newspaperman in Chicago, the founder and publisher of Hobbies magazine. During the Great Depression in the Chicago area, Leitner bought up a lot of mostly Victorian collections. They call it the Little Smithsonian. They got over 40,000 pieces on display of just world-class, cut crystal, fine china, Tiffany glass. Now what you're looking at is the front of the building, which is City Hall offices. Got the new mayor getting sworn in tomorrow. Yeah, changes there. But anyway, the museum is behind it. There's a courtyard in the middle, and the courtyard has a pond with these big koi carp fish and a stone bridge that's really photogenic. People like to get their wedding pictures taken on that bridge. Otto Leitner had people send him stones from all over the country. So there are rocks in that bridge that come from all 48 of the mainland states. Yeah, there were only 48 states back then. Alaska and Hawaii weren't states yet. When Otto Leitner died, they made him a museum piece. They buried him in the courtyard. Oh, there's a wedding going on. Let's stop for the Leitner. Congratulations, guys! That's the Leitner. The statue on our left is Don Pedro Menendez. He founded our city to protect the treasure galleons that so no one would steal the gold that they had already stolen. Now the Alcazar, this was designed to be more affordable and less formal than the Ponce across the street. At the Ponce you paid the season in advance, but here you could get a room by the night and $2 included dinner with a movie theater, the bowling alley, Russian and Turkish steam baths, a casino. They have an academy to learn how to ride a brand new invention called the bicycle. Still today, the most efficient form of transportation that's ever been invented. And it featured the largest indoor heated swimming pool on Earth. The roof open to the sky. Artesian springs fed water at a constant 80 degrees. Well, the pool's been turned into a restaurant, a really nice one.